Hello, boys and girls. It's me, Cool Yoshi here. Welcome back to my 100% blind playthrough of... what else? What else but Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. I'll try to go into this as fast as I can, but in the last episode... yes, we're using anti-boss formula now for a while. Anyway, in the last video, we left off, well, what else? Doing the first half of Midna's challenge mode. Battle and Boss Challenge. Battle Challenge was fully completed because there's only 3 challenges, and Boss Challenge is the longer one. And now we're doing survival battles, and because of the strategy I specifically mentioned earlier, I'm going to start using anti-boss formula against these battles to see if they go faster. I don't have to, but I want to do it just because it's easier that way. Let's change this up a bit, by the way. Usually I actually use magic, fairy magic that is right off the bat. I'm going to try not doing it for this first wave so we can quickly summon the next wave. But then the moment the second wave appears, we'll use it. I know for a fact we're going to have to use fairy magic a couple times in this battle no matter what, unfortunately. Just knowing when to use it is going to be what it's going to make this run a bit faster. For those of you who don't know why we need this, it's because we actually need a lot more troops than anticipated. Unlike some of the other versions, they actually make this harder in the pitch version. I think in every other original version, they didn't have time to set the count, so they always set it to 1200 because they knew that Wii U couldn't handle that many enemies, so they still better, which made it surprisingly easy to achieve in almost every battle, except maybe a handful, where there were less troops to begin with. Well, since this is the first battle, we should just extreme crush all the bosses down. It's the fastest way of doing it after all. So, anti-boss formula, of course, increases the damage dealt to giant bosses. The reason why that would be efficient is against the dark bosses, which have like, a lot more health than you would expect otherwise. Wow, that's like about average. Did half of the troops we need already. Now we need to do the other half. And yes, I do know from this enough now that all of the first 3 battles, including the third one for some reason, only require 1600 troops, but then this battle requires a lot more, but I still haven't found out the exact amount ever, so I've been pretty much just consistently doing 6k troops, and that seems to work out, but that seems to be fine, because with most of the AoE attacks we're spamming enemies, it seems like we can actually take out a lot of troops by just doing that. Alright. Sometimes the camera does not scroll in when using that fairy magic, by the way. It's a little weird when that happens. I have to take out Hyrule again. Think I'll lose to you, Hyrule? Don't think so. Almost finished around with that last attack. Would have looked really cool. Didn't. Okay, we can use this. Set up for the next battle. Alright, we're not gonna even waste time here. Let's extreme crush right away. Because of the way Goma's trick's up is though, we need to wait at least a low frames for him to do something. Oh my gosh, he's still... There we go. I should move back a bit, then actually start specialing on that. Just so I can hit the Durani at the same time as I hit Goma. I took out him first, despite us typically wanting to take out first. Speaking of which, let's do that now, while I still can. Unlike the other battles that we've done up to this point, we actually have a really good setup against these dark enemies, because as long as we can catch them just right, we can hit them all with our actually fairly consistently. Okay, well that did not work for the last part, so I had to finish off the last one. Whoa! That was so fast I didn't even have to do the open. So that is the power of anti-boss formula. As you can see, it makes some of these fights go a little faster depending on the character. We'll probably check our time after that, because all the times I did before that, all was done with no anti-boss formula at all. And it was really long to get through some of these dark enemies. But with magic reduction and that, holy crap, it seems like it just went like way faster. But it also helps that on top of that, and I didn't even mention this, you might have noticed, Midna's power is a lot longer than it should be. That's because I started actually putting the legendary attack on, I mean the legendary effect and, whatever, special effect on the weapon. And that makes it so that our attacks, our power is actually increased basically by 90 points every single time. Done correctly with the maximum powered weapon, you can get your weapon to be as powerful as 840, which I have it on her right now, as you can see. And that's why she's doing so much friggin' damage, because she has an extra 90 damage thanks to that. Actually makes a big difference. Anyway, we have plenty of material, so it's honestly not that bad to use. These items, and or rather the weak point, anti-boss formula isn't really useful on the other battles, simply because there's just not enough bosses to make this work. It's more useful for this battle series because there are a lot more of them. Try and get these guys to come to me by this way. To start off. And yes, of course I'm using Fairy Magic in most of these battles to make them go faster. But just to use that, Fairy Magic's kind of overpowered in this game. That's just what you do. Now, I assure you, if we play a second actual Hyrule Warriors game, that is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which I said would be next in the series if we keep playing it, it probably won't be as easy to cheese as this other game. In fact, it'll at least probably require some interesting things, but hey, at least the graphics will look cooler. I'm not saying these graphics are bland, but in the end, this is a port of a 3DS game. In the end. Doesn't necessarily look the best by our standards here. I figured that out mostly just to get some extra kills. Now we'll magic up like here, I guess. Alright, again, we kind of overeaten like we did the last time, getting about 50% of the way through, which is what I come to expect now. For prison, you don't really want to use quick specials on because, like I said, I think sometimes the person will get at your special lane and just get up anyways. Alright. Right now, let's get this. He's already here. Okay, maybe this was a bad time for Ponytails. That's a bad gen, so I do, sometimes we try to time our timer stuff a little bit differently. Well, that's because every 500 or 1,000 kills, you get a message pop up. Sometimes that message pop up will interrupt the next wave from coming. It's actually quite important that we clear it to only appear at the times we want. Okay, looks like there's enough to at least clear this wave, so you know what, we're gonna clear it now. Hopefully now. Perfect. Okay, maybe not Vandals to deal with that, but okay, there's still to feel it. Oh, and they still have to do that as well. Okay, there we go. It finally showed up. That was a really long delay for that message. Now, I've noticed talking about the speedrun quite a bit as well. Okay, that was just bad. It's random whether or not you get that, unfortunately. Whenever that happens, that's one way. Okay, I'm gonna actually do this in reverse, except I'll take out this rally count first. Easier. And yes, this is the first way. We should probably just do this. Make it easier. I think the big difference is I'm going to try and use my specials a bit differently. Maybe when Midna is about to attack, we can try doing them. Okay, I am not in the right setup. I could tell already. Okay, we need to flip around a bit. This is the last we want to actually take out first. Okay, well that's definitely going to mess up. Unlike the last time, we actually have an extreme press and knock our dirt right back down again. Try again to get this out. Goodness, I got interrupted on top of that. And then I'll just beam Manandala does not want to let us do stuff. Should've known that was not smart, but we made it work somehow. I took them out simply because I was closer to them. Even though we typically want to deal with the summoners first. Anti-boss Warrior did make it a lot faster though. Okay. And then there's also this magication thing. Probably want to honestly just go to the back when taking out this phase. That makes it easier to set this up. There we go. We have the troops we need. We just need to fund the other bosses now. Turned around the MMA was that place, so I have my special attack and also hit the other two a little bit too. I actually don't mind the auto explain, and it's better that way because he won't interrupt me constantly. Now, I mentioned a couple times before, previously I fought other dark enemies who were very tougher, like Nando and other stuff, but they're so slow, he's actually kind of embarrassingly easy. Doesn't really appear enough to be annoying. If anything, Dark Godrock is the worst, because as you saw there, he could just run away randomly, so there's a lot of RNG hoping that he doesn't run away too much. And on top of that, he has the worst hitbox out of every giant boss in the game, I found out. Normally you don't deal with that because he's usually on the ground and you can just take him out easily, but for some reason in this one battle it doesn't work. It's kind of a little bit annoying actually. It makes taking him out that much more annoying. That's what I don't like about him. Alright, let's do this again. Got it. This will blow through a lot of our items, but because we do so many battles of these other battles anyways, we'll get so many of those as item drops. We'll may have back all the ones we used anyway, and we still need to go for a couple of challenges. It's kind of wasteful to have 99 of every item, so I figure since we can just go for the animations fast anyway, may as well make the most of it. And try to speed up these battles a bit more. This is the one we're going to go to. Fortunately, anti-boss formula does not work against these archons. Be nice if they could use our damage go up against them. Yeah, it works. Alright, I don't mind. We can just use this when they sun. Well, that was very fast. I think my magic pound, or rather, fairy magic took out his lead point almost immediately. That was funny. Never seen that before. Alright, let's just do this fast here. We get quite a few waves to work with, so it's really not that bad, but if it doesn't have the best AoE, it can sometimes be annoying. Fortunately, I do not believe there's a way to increase defense with weapons, otherwise I would probably do that for all these battles. Honestly, the only thing that matters is you have damage reduction against certain phases. And then all of these do not have a recommended element, so we cannot even work at all. Oh yeah, that's right, we get to actually face our, say, if the Zant in here. Oh, not. That is one thing that's super annoying to remember to deal with, is that she will miss completely if it's not facing the right way. It feels like I've done that at least several times in seeing her in adventure mode as well. Okay, well, thankfully we made that work. Oh wow, that annihilated him right away. Yeah. Who is that? How about you stay asleep, okay? Say, even she recognizes that. Oh, I just realized that because it's Zant, do we get an extra animation? Because each Dark Zant we defeat, yeah, triggers the extra animation. Okay, well that's fine. That at least gives us a chance to get more trips. Alright, we're caught up now. I forget where this is. Oh, okay, we were at least somewhere close to it. Because this is one of the harder battles, we actually do kind of want to do more things here. Alright, let's just go right to this. Good, we got him in a corner, that's what we want. Well, now that we know about that animation, we should probably focus on its first death. Definitely focus on Zen's first as Midna, otherwise we're wasting time when we could be going through the battle a lot faster. Alright. Yeah, we're getting close to 1,000 kills. We should probably push it over to get that mix-ups out of the way nice and early. I'll do it, I think, here. That makes the most sense. Since we're already close. Alright, perfect. It's almost like I know something about this game. It's almost like I know there's gonna be a 1,000 passage. I've seen that enough now to know that if we time that at the right time, we can for things to happen. And we can probably get 1,500 kills nearly here as well. I mean, maybe not. It's not as much troops as I was expecting. I will say, if they do remake this, hopefully there's a lot more troops on screen than before. I know the Switch already has a lot, but there's only so many you can fit on screen before it gets too late. I know with the Hyrule Warriors types games, typically it's actually much better. There's a lot more enemies you can actually fit on screen than there were before. Kind of nailed that. I didn't even try to use the magic setup properly at all. I just went for it and it worked. Okay, got rid of him, so we don't deal with that. That's kind of sad that Eureka and Midna. Oh, that. Let's say something, huh? Oh, right then. Good, we got him fast in then. Okay, I know this one's here. Alright. This time we wanted magic right away. Might even run down a bit further. Well, actually, maybe not quite. Alright, here we go. Zen's here. Careful, the tie, you shall bow down before me. Not about to lose someone like you. Okay, let's worry a bit. Now let's do this. There we go. We got our 15 message appearing. Believe we'll need to use this at least one more time. Let's just do this right in Miriam's face. How about that? Oh, run away! I can't allow that. Well, I just where you? I just did. Weird, he was delaying his attack. For no reason. Okay, I actually took out both of them. Cool. Took them both out at the same time, and it actually skipped the animation. Reappearing. Okay, well, since Idrek's right here, let's take him out while we still can. Then we'll run to everything else. But we'll try to start with Zant as soon as we can. So, yeah. For one, Zodiac is actually getting taken out really fast. Like I said, having anti-boss formula for these battles makes a big difference. Alright, gotta start this animation as soon as possible. Okay, good. Some of them have been defeated. Now we can start the animations now. Let's use the time to just run over and defeat our enemy. He's over here. Now we get to see the about you steal sheep several times. That help out now either. Anyway. Okay, we're around 2,000, so we definitely got an A rank. I think we'll only use the magic once at the end just to make sure we have magic. Or I guess we can do it now because we are not even setting up internet properly. What I mean by that internet. See, like that one attack, that cuts for their health so fast. I think only this definitely makes the dark bosses not take as long. I should have been doing this to begin with. But certainly on the survival battle it works the best. So maybe I could go for the other battles without it, but survival battles for sure I definitely want them for. These dark opponents just take way too long without it. NTS formula, you can just smash for their hit points. Like, oh my goodness, Ganon just got completely wrecked there. See how fast the Crazy falls. He's usually the most tankiest by far. Yeah, in this battle, 2 full combos with Midna is all it takes. To be fair, our Midna has a really high attack power, so that also helps out. All that would change is they take a little bit longer with the players who didn't have good attack power. But yeah, that was nothing. Okay, well, Anti-Gosphoria is worth it. Waste about seconds in the game to use the item, but it makes every battle much more consistent and faster. I should have been using it to begin with. Machine Survival Battle level 4 ought to go faster as well, I imagine. Some parts of it seemed slower. We'll check all the speedrun times specifically after this to see. We did, there's Midna. Now, but before we do that, we need to go to the final battle, and this one we definitely want anti-boss formula. I think without anti-boss formula and fairy magic, more often than not, they'll survive. And that's not good. We need to make sure that they do not survive. That's ideal for us. Like how we haven't even crossed the 30-minute mark of the video yet, and now we're already on the final battle. This is a big difference, I'll say that much. Well, at least compared to what characters we've been seeing so far, it seems Midna's definitely better than them. She is one of the main characters of the storyline, so it makes sense she's supposed to be strong. It's not Twilight. It's nice still. Okay, I want to weigh a bit before using special mount. Is it? I'll be fine. Honestly, Midna has a good AoE range, so it should be fine. Okay. Alright, let's do this now. Quickly get the 500 juke. And unfortunately, I won't be able to time it as easily because we'll have to time the messages rather. Anyways, as easily because we have to defeat so many already. We'll just see that appear more often than not. He's actually not doing the thing. Okay, we're way too close. Back a little bit. Okay, I was ready for it. Oop. Let's run over him. Wow. Did not even... Honestly, it's probably smartest to use your specials when they stun you. easier. Okay, we're getting really good bad luck with the Masons that keep popping up here. Alright. And no, it's not necessarily set up. It is random whether or not you actually get a voice line pop up or not. And ideally, you do not want to see that at all. Section. Okay. Of course, now we have full specials, so it doesn't matter anymore. Special fountain class. We should probably just use that as backup then. No? Okay, that works. Good. At least the ending was quick. And yeah, I'm not just saying this for weird, because I am... Because we've been doing this for so long now, we are trying to see Venice as fast as possible. As fast as I can. I specialed mostly because I thought they were gonna hit me guaranteed, so I prepared ahead of time and just didn't know it. I don't know, I just noticed one of them got knocked back as I was attacking. Sometimes it feels like they have super armor, other times it feels like they don't. It's hard to know. What I mean by super armor, I mean they really don't take knockback. Okay, that's how I was ready for him. Okay, that's special. Whoa, that took out a lot on its own. We keep getting stunned. We keep wasting our sessions. Yeah. Getting out of this. Just use this now. See what happens. Don't care that 350 our enemies. We kind of needed it anyway. There we go. Again, got a longer animation than I wanted. Check out this guy first. Think about the rally captain on the other end. Then the dark fiery arrow pulse after that. Part after that. Alright. Of course we'll brain here. Yes, too. Draw to us if we can. Because the Donald's right in my way, we'll actually take him out first. It's kind of funny to say, but the dark enemies are actually easier now than the normal bosses because we have the anti-boss formula. We just deal so much damage to them. It doesn't matter as much anymore. The layer blood is actually more armored now. They do the same combo, not nearly as much damage. So they probably make the dark bosses self adorable, basically meaning they exchange the dark power for stronger. That was not a good time to defeat 2000 enemies, but again, oh, okay, good, it delayed the thing anyway. Sometimes they will delay the message and not even make it happen at all, even though we defeated 2000 enemies, so come in later instead. Honestly, for these guys, we can probably just take them by some... Probably easier at this point to just try and bait them to do an attack, which they seem to do more often than not. If they do an attack, we'll just let them... We'll just go with the battle with them, but if they do the attack, we can just repoint them and immediately defeat them. Alright, here we go. Magic. Let's see where the magic is. Well, I don't see it anywhere. Time to use now. Later. However, because we do not know what it is, we're gonna try and get up to once again. Whoa! We fell backwards the wrong way. I've never seen that happen before. That animation we almost never get to see, because I never hit Neptune's weaknesses. A lot of people forget that's a thing you can do. Just like the normal hunters have weaknesses and other stuff, like the bosses. The captains also have weaknesses, the ones that aren't the actual characters, of course, and if you attack it just right, you can make them really, but like, since Goombas are in different things, I kind of embarrassed, but backwards it up, so we can maybe hit Lana with the AoE we're trying to do. Interrupt this early. It's done. Good. So we actually defeated some of the Dark Matter, or at least split them up while we did that at the same time. This Moblin as well. There's quite a few of them. Alright, 2 of the Dark Manos to be defeated, so we start going for those as fast as possible. We also got 3,000 mils, so we can watch that happen as well. Probably should have done that. Good, we defeated their Transfer Captain. We defeated so many forces already. Ready for that. Okay, is that all? Drat. I was really hoping there would be someone else at my level. Maybe that's one of the challenge mode exclusive, challenge mode exclusive dialogue, because that is, to be fair, that is, there are lots of dialogues for the other characters as well, which is exclusive to challenge mode. Might have to say I'm not clearly facing the right way because already facing that way to begin with, it didn't matter. Still had to do it. You know what? I should try to smart play and back up a bit. If we can funnel them all through this door, that will probably make it a lot easier. Yeah, we'll do the door strats here. Let's funnel them all through the door so they'll come at this part. We can hit them all at once with our attack, make it go a lot faster, and somehow we already defeated the other one, unless it's somewhere else. Okay, no, they all just vanished. Wow, incredible, that was fast. Already on to the next part. Don't even know Milano, man. I guess we are not on the Milano board yet. Alright, I'm gonna do what I did last time, actually. I did this. We're actually going to defeat the Dark Alley first, because it's easier. We'll get rid of it now, obviously we can. Get rid of the other weaker enemies, then get rid of the regular boss. Because double that if it's an Ardrock, because generally they'll just follow us around. Usually. Not guaranteed they will, but they like to. Well, often and not do it. If they don't, then that's fine. Doesn't really care. Okay. Keep in mind, this final battle is always going to be longer no matter what. There we go. We have to run all the way around here to get to last I remember. Yep, I'm getting to the point where I know where all these troops are going to be. Somehow Midna is not taking nearly as much damage as I expected. Probably because we've done so well at crowd controlling them that we've done anything less. Almost never happens. Usually we take more damage with the other characters. In fact, the last couple of characters we did were so slow at ending that we just got hit so many times half the time. This is the one fight where it can be quite scary if you do not properly. Okay, speaking of which, we finally on it. It only took a few hours to do it, but finally happened. Anyways, let's get out of here. Yeah, it's kind of scary, you know? Didn't they both fight too in the storyline? I'm pretty sure they did. Forgive me, I haven't played Legend Mode in so long. It's hard to remember everything, but I believe they fought in this fight in the storyline too. Speaking of which, that's gonna be interesting because when we did do Legend Mode runs on Replay Mode, I mentioned how we didn't have to do Legend Mode more than once. Like the specific Legend Mode one, which is basically the same storyline, but you can pick certain characters. Replay is the same as that, except you can select any character you want, and that's obviously faster for this run, because then we can use young Linking characters we should not be able to use to make the run go way faster. And on top of that, getting Linko's weapon helps out a lot for her, where you have to use her, so it just makes these battles go by a lot faster. Alright, Darcy is right here. Let's just throw this under. But because Data actually by my map first, I'll just be annoying with a bunch of attacks. I've learned by now that we cannot let Matt do his thing all of the time. So now we have empty boss formula. We should probably just deal with him first, so he won't attack us constantly. Have to deal with the Dark Seas. This is the only other battle where we faced had some dark opponents instead of this one. First time we had faced 2 sets of Dark Zans. Okay, so this strat is probably easier to do, even though not the best. Okay. Now we definitely lost a lot more HP. Should have been hey. Because now I knew I would have more stuff to do. I'm actually a bit worried where it seems like we might be running chips. Better defeat more just to be safe. Good, we got to that right now. Remember, I try to usually go for 6k kills in these. That we did not. Kind of worried. He's definitely pretty much not. Hey, I did not get hit there. That's probably the other strategy you want to remember to do. Is you just like with the big guy Ganon and Giant Cucco, you can take a lot less damage by using your specials right as the opponents are about to attack. And it makes it way more consistent too. That's the longest animation Ganon could have done there. It's also the worst by far because it makes him kind of invulnerable to things, and also he kind of doesn't give us a chance to do much when that happens. Okay, the only difference is they do have a bit more HP in this last part, so they won't take the same. That is still... Oh, they still die pretty quick though. So maybe they'll have a little bit more HP or maybe a bit more defense, but that is, yeah. That part, again, went really fast. Before we did that, these giant foes were just really difficult. It took a while. Now we can just smash that in like a few minutes. So that is definitely worth it, at least on the survival battles, to do every single time, no matter what. So yeah, that just sped up our run a ton, and I didn't know about it until now, so I kinda wish I had found about that sooner. I wasn't using it for a good reason though. To be fair, there was simply not enough bosses to make it warranted before, but just for this battle, battle series, of the survival battle, it works way better than just trying to take out the bosses normally, because otherwise they take frickin' forever to... we saw how long they took before, so makes sense. Alright then, let's do that. Skip that. So anyway, Midna would have her weapon induced. And yes, I did grind weapons with a lot of characters, as you might have guessed. Oh. Go. So let's actually compare the speedrun times now. So yeah, Midna is the fastest time here now, and still a good amount of hills. She has the fastest time on this battle by far. Minka actually probably has the slowest time in most of these, except for a couple. And this one, Midna's barely faster, but not by much. But see, and Lana break even on this battle for some reason. Probably because I didn't have a good Lana set. Like, just going over the Lana, she just took longer naturally, because I was still not using the effect. If I had learned to use that, Lana would probably be the fastest character by far, with anti-boss formula and all that stuff. But yeah, so... And then this time it was 525. This one was already 515, but that's just because Hyrule's disgustingly broken for taking out giant bosses in that. And then let's just go over the other times. So Midna had sub 4 minutes there, sub 2 minutes there, sub there, although this one's a bit random. Okay, Midna did not have a good but that's because we did serve, but just looking at the survival battles alone, we did a lot better than before. So anti-boss formula makes a big difference and should definitely be used. I think it'll make all... As for whether or not it works on defeat 1,000 enemies, I think I could probably just do that normally, because it didn't seem like it did much. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we play as the Super King Zant. Or I guess he could call himself Kid too, but yeah. We play as him and try to get his challenge mode done next. Until then, see you guys later. Bye.